In the dusty heart of Stilfontein, abandoned gold shafts have become a battlefield. Here, vulnerable miners known as zamazamas are controlled by a hidden network of criminal syndicates, in other words, kingpins who profit from human suffering while some hold power above the law. Early 2025, these kingpins have escaped arrest and made profits of over hundreds of millions of rands. Stay tuned to find out who really are these kingpins responsible for illegal mining in South Africa.
Yes, like Zimbabwe, Mozambique, mind you, I want for Mutago abafetela street kuba Stilfontein. That simply means hona something and it's over you that to say hona msebetsi ka mo wantlogana.
Stilfontein once thrived through mines like Fontein, closed in 2013. Yet, beneath the surface remains as much as 11 million ounces of gold worth billions, tempting gangs into illicit extraction. Today, informal mining accounts for around 10% of SA's annual gold output, is worth over 15 billion rands a year in the black market trade. Thousands of undocumented workers from Mozambique, Lesotho, and Zimbabwe are recruited into these shafts. Once underground, armed gangs enslave them with withheld food, violence, and captivity, some surviving for months and some not making it at all. We all know that for having such an operation, millions of rands are crucial to buy certain equipments and to accommodate all those miners as much as they are being exploited. And this is where these kingpins come in: Samuel Saki Makoti and Andries Sechobela. Makoti and Sechobela are business partners from the Northwest, best known for their construction and transportation company, which was only a cover-up for illegal mining businesses. After being familiar with the two, the Hawks conducted a crime investigation assisted by members of Illegal Mining Task Team, the National Intervention Unit, and Bidvest Protea Coin Security. On April 2022, they received an anonymous tip-off about Makoti and Sechobela being in Rustenburg. The two were later arrested and 2 luxury vehicles were seized for further investigations and were both charged with illegal mining, public violence, defeating the ends of justice, and malicious damage to property. The officers later found that this arrest was linked to the takedown operation which took place at a Rustenburg mine, which led to the confiscating of illegally mined chrome worth over 2 million rands and equipment worth approximately 100 million rands. Makoti and Sechobela appeared before the Mugwase courts on 11 April 2022 and they were each released on a 3,000 rands bail. This should tell you how much power they have over the authorities. Until today, there are no signs of the two being in prison. In 2024, more and more videos started surfacing on the internet, uploaded by the people working in those mines. In these videos, they were begging for help, food, and crying for their loved ones that they had lost in the mines. One of the videos that surfaced was a video showing corpses of people who did not make it and were still stuck down there. This raised massive concerns, and in December 2024, the police forced an estimated 2,000 miners to resurface. At least 87 of them did not make it alive and others were collected from perilous depths. During this operation, as the police pulled the dozens of miners to safety, one ringleader surfaced from shaft 11, and that ringleader was James Newo Jowaheli, a Lesotho national best known as Tiger. But then, James managed to escape custody, which was later found that he had done it with the help of 4 police officers who have been arrested for aiding his flight.
What I can say without any fear of contradiction is that we believe that our own members are somehow involved in the disappearance of this wanted illegal mining kingpin. We have whittled down our investigation to focus on particular individuals. You will understand that Tiger surfaced with other miners on a particular day, and as per our records, we know who are the members that were on duty.
Yes, Iman, remember that for the past 2 months, if I may say, we've seen various illegal miners coming out at shaft number 10, shaft number 11, but also at Margaret shaft. But when the rescue operations, especially during the period in which experts took over the retrieval process, that's when we saw, a high volume of illegal miners, coming out. And of course, this was at the period when there was a lack of food underground. And of course, we had 2 volunteers who were leading the experts in terms of going underground to try and assist those illegal miners who wanted to come out at the time. And obviously, Tiger came, he came with the very last group that came out on a Wednesday, on the last day of the operations, and that is what Major General Asaning also alluded to, saying that due to the fact that Tiger was updated in terms of how far the operations will be going, and then a decision was taken underground for him to resurface with the very last group. And of course, at that time, police are saying they're looking at those dynamics as well in terms of what really happened leading up to that last group which resurfaced last from that cage. But also he confirms that they are very sure that Tiger was aided or assisted by one or by law enforcement agents who were there on site, saying that according to their systems, balances and checks, they were able to really count who was stationed where at shaft number 11 during that period where Tiger escaped. That's when now they were able to then pin their suspects down to few individuals who might be or who have been identified as culprits who might have assisted Tiger. So as far as their own internal processes are concerned, I think there is some progress that has been made in terms of zooming into who assisted Tiger. But
even though Tiger had been found, unions argued that he is just a front and the real kingpins live above ground, shielded by corrupt officials, brokers and licensed operators managing supply chain, laundering gold and collect profits while the Zamazamas do the deadly toil. This has the government written all over it as they halted supplies and delayed rescue under court pressure. Tons of gold are smuggled through complex syndicates into legal markets and offshore buyers. Analysts suggest that the economy lost over 18 billion rands annually to illicit mining, while the enslaved miners get barely a silver of value. Since August 2024, more than 33 million rands have been spent deploying nearly 950 officers and processing over 1,500 arrests. Yet these arrests typically involve low-level workers, not the masterminds. These illegal mining crises are not just a crime story, they are a tale of systemic failure. Real power lies not in the shafts, but above them. To break the cycle, authorities must follow the money and untangle the links between kingpins, complicit officials, and the legal economy. Only then can genuine justice begin. My name is Jay, and this is Moment in Future, pulling you into the truth.